It was a calm day in the Eris dimension. Eris was sitting in her armchair in her own home, just feeling restless, bored. She hadn't even done much today, and she couldn't even come up with anything to keep herself happy, or at least entertained. But there was one other reason also that she felt like this. Is that she didn't have to been able to share anything with any particular special song pony. But there is one individual that she really much was attracted to. And that was Discord, her male counterpart. But there was just one small problem. She has never been able to confess her feelings for Discord. Even though she wanted to do so, but it was just one problem. Discord was really much more interacting with one particular pony, and that was Fluttershy, which made Eris a lot more jealous. She felt lonely and jealous of that. But today, she thought maybe that she just should tell Discord how she feels for him. So she snapped her fingers and appeared in Equestria. More correctly, just near Fluttershy's cottage. She usually knows that Discord hangs out at Fluttershy's home, since they're really close friends. She walked there, knocked on the door, and Fluttershy opened. Eris? What brings you here? Hi, Fluttershy. Is Discord here? Eris? What brings you here? Said Discord from inside the cottage. Oh, you're also here. You maybe want to come inside? Fluttershy asked. And maybe have some tea? That would be nice, said Eris with a big smile. She just walked in, sat down next to Discord on the couch, and they just interacted. While Fluttershy was making some more tea, Eris looked at Discord and said, So, Discord, how has it been like to be a friend to a pony like this? Well, to be honest, it was not what I expected when I first was given the chance of being reformed, but I appreciated that Fluttershy was stubborn, determined, and was willing to do anything to be reforming me. But there is another thing. Oh? Well, I actually even like her more than just a friend, he said almost in a whisper. Oh, Discord. Yeah? If there was any pony that didn't like you, would you even consider to be with that pony? Other from Fluttershy? Well, that would depend on who it is. Well, let's say, for example, if I had feelings for you. Would you even consider that? You? Be honest, I don't know. But if I really had to be honest, I think I would have been saying I always would see you as a friend, nothing more. I have been more attracted to Fluttershy recently, and when Eris heard this, she felt devastated in her heart. She then decided to leave and came up with an excuse that she had something else to do at home, so she left, which to a bit of its sadness to Fluttershy, but she said that she understood, so she left. But Eris didn't go back to her own dimension. In fact, she used to snap her fingers and teleport somewhere else. But where she did end up was near another pony's home. That was actually only one of the few female ponies that was some pony that Eris had a connection to. And that was one of her few friends. And that was Sprinkles. Sprinkles was a very kind pony that helped Eris to be reformed. She was actually living just outside of Ponyville when Eris was given the opportunity to be reformed. Sprinkles was actually one of the few ponies that was willing to even to take this assignment. And due to her intense and very much positive personality of hers, eventually she managed to win over Eris to the good side. And that was also one of the few reasons why Eris sometimes got to see Sprinkles. Because she not only seeing her as a friend, but really much respect her. Because she was only one of few ponies that was willing to give Eris a chance to be redeemed, to be basically a good individual. Even though that she still uses her chaos magic for some harmless pranks or something like that. But Sprinkles didn't judge her or even condemned her to anything to be a lost cause. Eris? What's bring you here? Hey, Sprinkles, can I come in? Well, of course. So, what can I do for you? She asked. Well, I just got my heart crushed. Oh dear, tell me. And then Eris explained what happened. Even though that Eris didn't directly confess her feelings for Discord. But it was pretty much the same effect. And Sprinkles? It's a very challenge, but also really much heartbreaking, you know? It's part of life. A life that I can live forever, you know, said Eris, a bit irritated, a bit angry. I know, but just, it's part of life that sometimes you have to accept that being opportunity, the chance of being rejected, you know. Even I had to go through this some experience when I was younger. You did? Yeah. First, when I was like in elementary, I liked this cult, but he didn't like me the same way. He just only saw me as a friend. When I went to study in high school, same thing. I did like a stallion there, but he didn't like me the same. So ever since then, I had come to terms to maybe I might not actually find some pony to be with. Are you willing to just give it up like that? Said Eris. Well, to be honest, I'm actually a bit at a loss. But that was like years ago, and ever since then I have been focused on my own life, rather from romance. Eris was really surprised that her own friend has just simply given up on romance. But if you were having a chance to be with some pony, would you even try again? Asked Eris. Well, if the opportunity came to me like that, then, I mean, sure. What if there was a mare? Or maybe a female? That was another thing. Sprinkles was actually bisexual, so she was attracted to both male and female ponies. Well, I haven't really much thought about it, but since I have been focusing on my own this lately and just haven't thought much about it. But I have been honest, there is actually only one female individual that I would have been considered to be with. Who? Asked Eris curiously. That would be you. Eris looked at her friend stunned. It was one of the last things that she never expected that Sprinkles would even said. Wait, do you like me? Like me? Yeah. Ever since when I was given the chance to reform you, when you really showed so much progress, I came to realize I actually fallen for you. Even if you did knew that there was a possibility that I would never really be reformed, would you even still have been with me? Knowing that I could have been manipulating you, lying to you the whole time, never been telling the truth? That was at least one of the possibilities, but I'm just glad that you did reform. But then, Eris thought about something. Do you maybe want to be my girlfriend then, Sprinkles? Sprinkles smiled and nodded and said yes. Even though that Eris was pretty much new to this, dating the same gender. But since Sprinkles is one of the few ponies that she really trusts, and given the opportunity, that why not? So they decided to give it at least a chance, to try at least for a while to see if there was any actual spark between them. But then, they decided to go out on their first date on this Friday. They decided to go to this restaurant in town just in case of that. And in the restaurant at first, there was quite a bit awkward silence between them. Because even though Sprinkles was very outgoing, very social, but Eris, well, she is not really much social since she usually don't interact with much other ponies. But after a bit silence broken, they start talking and eventually have a good time laughing to some jokes, and even afterwards, when they went back to Sprinkles' home, she even asked Eris if she wanted to stay over the night, which Eris said yes. And after several weeks to almost a month of dating like this, they decided to make it official. Even one day when they were just walking around the town of Ponyville, ponies looked at them, even talked and even whispered, "Did you know that they are actually dating? No way. Really? Yeah." Ponies actually started even to interact a lot more with Eris. But for some reason that since Sprinkles really had, well, much, given the fact that her personality had rubbed on Eris, she started being more social to other ponies in town, and it seemed to be working, because within the last just only after being together with Sprinkles for just about 2 to 3 months, Eris had made tons of new friends in Ponyville. She was very surprised that Sprinkles' personality has affected her in that same way. She was just happy to be like this. But there was only one time though, when during one particular winter, when Sprinkles got sick with the flu. When Eris was not even being aware of this, since she was back in her own dimension. But one day, when Sprinkles was sick with his flu, Twilight, who had became a really good friend to Eris, informed Eris about this. Eris dropped everything in her dimension and went over to Sprinkles' home to look after her. And Sprinkles really appreciated it. "You don't even have to do this, you know?" said Sprinkles, a bit quiet and almost a bit weak due to the fact of the flu. "You know, I'm already immune to this disease, so I had to do this for you. You helped me when I was, well, given the chance of being good. And this is one of many that I want to repay you." Sprinkles nodded, and throughout the time when she was sick, Eris entertained her with some stories, even cooked her meals. And that made their bond between them even stronger. By the time when Eris had noticed that Sprinkles had recovered, they went to want to have a date, especially a dinner date. That was actually Sprinkles, well, her thanks to Eris. But there was a lot of things between them that was many ponies didn't even expect it. But since ponies were being aware that Discord, her male counterpart, was now officially dating Fluttershy. So there was not like any difference between them. And after Sprinkles and Eris had been dating for about 4 years, they decided to make it official. On their 4th anniversary, Eris took Sprinkles to the meadow during the evening to have a small dinner there. They had just a great time. Eris even summoned the fireflies to appear when she showed the ring and even asked the question. And Sprinkles said yes without hesitation of the answer. She was really happy that Sprinkles now is going to be her wife. They decided to just have a small wedding, even though they decided to invite just some close friends and had the wedding in Ponyville's City Hall. They were just having a good time there. Even as Twilight being Eris' maid of honor and Fluttershy to be Sprinkles' maid of honor. After the honeymoon, after the wedding was all, every other friends and family, or especially Sprinkles' family, who was still pretty new to the fact that their daughter was now now married to Eris. Another small detail during the wedding reception is that Eris made Sprinkles immortal. She was really excited now to be with her wife forever. And eventually after that, they went to a tropical island for a whole week for their honeymoon. And there they just had a great time. There were just a lot of things about that makes them happy. They enjoyed swimming in the ocean, playing beach balls on the other ponies there, just having a good time. But after being married for about 2 years, they wanted to start a family. But Eris and Sprinkles, they knew exactly which one to ask for help. And that would be Twilight. Twilight has helped many female couples in the past. So one day when they went over to Twilight's castle and asked her for help. She was more than willing to help them. And Sprinkles chose to be pregnant first. She later had a daughter which was half Draconicus and half pony. She was able to use chaos magic, and thanks to her uncle or godfather Discord, trained her how to use her chaos magic. And after another 3 more years, Eris decided to have a child too, and she had a son. He was like his older sister, a Draconicus pony hybrid, and he was more like Sprinkles, calm, outgoing. He was really happy. But there was a lot of problems that even when he grew up, when he used his chaos magic as pranks against his family or some of his friends, but for a harmless one. But even after all this time, Eris had always wondered, would she ever have found her true love with any pony before? Because before then, she had only feelings for Discord. After being rejected by Discord without even actually confessing to him, she did eventually tell him that she did have feelings for him. But now that he rejected her without even confessing officially, he said that with a smile and laughter said it was something that he had a feeling, but he was happy that she was eventually finding her true love within Sprinkles. Because Sprinkles and Eris had so much in common. They had so many common hobbies, and then when Eris came to realization, after being rejected by Discord, she think and knows that was probably the best, because if he had accepted her, she may not even have found her actual true love. Because after she started dating Sprinkles, she realized Discord wasn't even her in fact her true love, only a simple crush. And with that, Sprinkles and Eris could not have been more happier. And this is how Eris and Sprinkles found a true love, got a big family together. The end.